Valorant is one of the hardest games to rank up in, and no matter if you're silver, gold, or diamond, everyone needs tips on how to reach the next level. Luckily, you came to the right place, as it took me 300 hours and 2 months of playing to reach Immortal 3 for the first time. And if I were to give advice to anyone watching, they would need to know these 4 brutally honest truths that I'm about to tell you, which will make you rank up 7 times faster. And don't only trust my word, but the hundreds of students that I've coached, like my younger brother who hit Immortal at just 12 years old, or even my student QuinnX that came to me hard stuck Immortal 1 and reached Radiant for his first time just 20 days later. Now, going to the first hard truth that you need to understand is to stop overcomplicating improvement. From all the time I played Valorant, I really wish that I got this through my thick head that in order for me to succeed in quite literally any facet of life, I needed to stop overthinking every single part of the process and just take action. If you're anything like me who overthought about specific aiming mechanics like dead zoning, or overcomplicated specific game sense tricks like conditioning my utility, almost all of it is complete bullshit and won't actually progress your rank further than you are right now, depending on what rank you are. Instead of me actually practicing and putting in focused reps, I instead overtrained things that didn't even need much training to begin with, and I could have probably used that time and spent it on more productive categories of my training that actually got me results. So Rooney, what are the 3 things that made you reach Immortal faster? The first thing was to emphasize on my micro adjustments while warming up. I believe that for you to become an insane aimer, you need to have a focus on micro adjustments and dynamic clicking before playing. The reason for this is because in Valorant, the most common duel that you'll tend to make is either you peeking into an angle or someone peeking into you. I see so many players waste their time on target switching or tracking, where in reality, we should be mostly training aiming categories that actually apply to real rank scenarios. Now, am I telling you to not train the others at all? No, of course not, but you should reserve those for your actual aim routines. But in your warm-ups, I want you to be practicing both microflicks and dynamic clicking as much as you can before you hop on, as it will give you a significant boost in aim when you have done it. And to make it easier for you, if you want Radiant level mechanics, I made a free warm-up routine that you can use, which is linked down in the description, that helped my students like Light climb over 400 RR in just 1 month. The second thing that made me reach Immortal fast was to use the checkmate principle. I know all of you are sick and tired of seeing your teammates die one by one and not having anyone left to retake the site as you're left in a 1v5, which is why I made this method, because once applied will allow you to win almost all of your duels. The checkmate principle is actually pretty simple. Essentially, the main goal is to just put yourself in as many 2v1s as you possibly can with your teammates. This one single tip helped me skyrocket from Platinum to Immortal in just 1 month, by understanding that yes, it is awesome if I call for a double peek, but to be honest, it is way easier to just play off your teammates and peek when they do, basically copying their every move. So for example, if you see a teammate fighting, always do your best to waste no time and take a gunfight with them. Or if you notice a teammate scaling out, scale out with them to prepare a 2v1 engagement whenever possible. This will help you put your team in more 2v1 gunfights, which increases the chances of not only winning that duel, but getting man advantage. Mind you, this doesn't mean to bait them. Rather, play off their playstyle and adapt whenever you're able to. This will automatically put your team in advantageous situations without ever needing to even talk. And the more we're able to do this subconsciously and the easier it becomes for us, watch how our rank transforms to a hard select silver screen to an Immortal one in no time. Now, the last thing that helped me rank up so much faster than everyone else around me was to find a mentor. I would have probably never reached Immortal 3 in just 8 weeks. I would have not gotten accepted into university for economics, and I would have not been able to become a full-time Valorant coach if I didn't find people who were 5 to 10 steps ahead of me to personally teach me every step of the way. I've said this countless times already, but truly, the fastest way to learn anything is to have someone walk you through it and teach you on how to fix your own personal weaknesses and struggles. And what I found was that watching YouTube videos was actually a great way to improve and helped me a lot in reaching my goals that much quicker. But having someone build me from the ground up and feed me answers that took them years to find but only takes me 60 minutes to learn was the cheat code to succeeding. If I didn't know how to get better aim, I would hire a coach to help me build a personal routine that focused on the categories I lack. If I didn't know how to build a website, I would hire someone better than me to help me make it, which I recommend you look at mine and give me your thoughts on it in the description. All in all, having a mentor is single-handedly the most important thing that every person should have. But wait, how does one find a mentor to teach them? The best method for me was to not be afraid to ask, and I wasn't scared to invest into myself anymore. All of these goals that I have are things that I deeply care about, and if I limited my mindset of being afraid to actively seek out mentorship and paying paying for knowledge, then I wouldn't be the man I am today. So do not be scared to hire that fitness coach to lose weight for that beach trip in August, or to ask for advice from a YouTuber to achieve your dream job of making videos for a living, or to hire that Valorant coach to help you rank up just that much faster so you can compete in VCT one day. It is worth it. And coming from a normal average guy like me who is quite literally 90% of the way there from retiring my parents and paying off their mortgage through silly little videos and coaching others on how to reach Immortal faster while improving their life, then you can too. Believe in yourself more and stop being afraid to take chances. And if you want to transform your rank and reach Immortal as fast as you possibly can, join the 1% club. If you're tired of spending 5 hours a day playing Valorant but still feel like you're getting worse, this is exactly what I help my students with every day. I've helped hundreds of players on average rank up over 400 RR in just a couple weeks, like Valey, who went from a Hearthstone Silver 2 player to now reaching his peak rank of Platinum 1 with one coaching session, or my student EXO, who went from a struggling Ascendant 1 player to reaching Immortal 3 in just a couple of months, or even Quinex, who gained over 500 RR in just 2.5 weeks and reached Radiant for his first time ever. And to give you even more incentive to join, you will also be with over 100 like-minded players in this private community who are all striving for the same goals as you. And I will even buy you Kovacs if you don't have it already, so that you can use the exact broken aim routines that I've made, just like everyone else does, who now averages a 1.2 KD in ranked. There are only a couple spots left for my summer sale, so get a free extra coaching session today by clicking the link in the top of the description or the pinned comment to finally reach your goals and have your friends think you're smurfing. So understanding that simplifying our improvement will allow us to rank up so much faster than we did before, but without hearing this next hard truth, it will be extremely difficult for you to continue to grow as a player, which is that you peak without a killer's intent. If you don't know what I mean by that, I want to use an upcoming 17-year-old star player Kane Zera as an example of someone who has mastered this art and dominates in every pro game he plays. As you can see in this clip, Kane Zera never has a single doubt in his mind. For every peak, for every gunfight he takes, and for every duel he inevitably wins, you do not see a single doubt in his eyes that he is going to lose that fight, and has true and utter confidence that he will win. It even seems like every fight he takes just comes natural to him, which is what peaking with killer intent means. Mastering the ability to have sheer raw and even delusional confidence in yourself that you can succeed every time you peak, or even every time you queue a rank game. I feel like there's so many players out there, including some of my students, who have that skill, who have the aim, or even have the game sense to rank up and be immortal. However, the problem is, you're too scared to take risks and believe that every time you make a choice, it will turn for the worse. Trust me when I say this, if you truly want to improve in Valorant or even anything and achieve all your dreams and goals, do not limit yourself to thinking that you will fail before you even start. You have to be delusional to be someone who will be in the top 1% of all the tens of millions of Valorant players out there. But I promise you, the moment you stand still and doubt yourself and your every move, you will become someone you would hate to become. Someone who is scared, someone who doesn't trust even their own plays, and someone who lives with regrets. Remember, if you're going to take anything from this video, go into every single gunfight with a killer intent and an unshakable confidence. Now for the next piece of advice of the video that you need to know to reach Immortal or maybe even Radiant, a lot of people say you have to sacrifice your whole life away to reach high ranks and that it's impossible to succeed in everything all at once. But in my opinion and my own experience, this is completely untrue, which is why the third hard truth of today's video is that you can do it all, but you need to have focus. Over the past 3 months, I was able to lose an extra 25 pounds of fat, end my university term with decent grades, build a business that quite literally makes coaching and playing Valorant my full-time job, and work with sponsors like Zowie that has ultimately paid for all of my university tuition. And on top of all of that, I've moved countries and I still find plenty of time to spend with my lovely girlfriend. If this sounds impressive, then I can tell you right now that it really isn't, as long as you knew the real way to improve in Valorant, which is to prioritize one thing at a time, or use what I call the compound skill method. One of the most common mistakes I see gold players do is that they overwhelm themselves with so many things to improve on, and as a result, they stretch out their learning too thin and end up not progressing with anything. I see so many players trying to learn all the agents, learn how to develop calm aim, learn how to strafe accurately, learn all the niche lineups, and try to rank up by getting good at everything all at once. And I'm sure you noticed, if you went down this route, that you never went anywhere. and it probably even led you to burning out and getting worse, which is where the compound skill method comes in. All this method means is to just develop skills and compound it one at a time. That might be to focus mostly on your movement or the decisions you make every round, or developing protocols, or working on your pure raw aim. Overall, you need to have one main focus for a long period of time. Master it, then move on to the next. And if we zoom out a little further, if you are anyone who wants to make Valorant or even gaming a full-time job, you must understand that you can have it all, but not at the same time without building up to it first. Start with one thing, then compound those skills and maintain it until you have everything you want. For me, it started with fully focusing on Valorant and dedicating myself to be able to learn and become a top 1000 player every single act I played without putting in more than 2 hours a day. After I developed those systems, I stopped playing Valorant as much and started to teach others ever since I turned 17 on how to do the same. Then I continued to compound my skills by losing over 100 pounds while coaching and playing Valorant. I then compounded it again by entering university and working on full-time jobs. And finally, I compounded it again by starting up my own business and working on my skills as a content creator to hopefully retire my parents by the time I turn 21 and in turn make this my dream full-time job. The method isn't to try to do it all at once and expect growth. The real secret is to just focus on one first. Master that skill until it's as natural as breathing, then move on to the next skill and repeat it until you reach your dream rank. Finally, going to the last brutally honest advice that is by far the most important, and if you don't apply it will make every tip in this video useless, which is to understand that if you don't have talent, then you have to put in more effort than the rest. A lot of people, even including me, was stuck in this mindset that since we weren't talented and had no real innate skill for Valorant, this meant that reaching our goals of Diamond, Ascendant, or even Immortal seemed impossible and would result in us quitting. And I'm here to tell you that it's completely normal to feel this way and that I can totally understand why. But the difference between someone like me, who is just a couple steps ahead of you, even though we both started at the same place of iron, is all because I took the liberty to do my own research, develop my own perfect systems to rank up, and just overall put more effort than everyone else around me. Out of the hundreds of players I knew who started in Iron with me, I can only name you one person who reached Immortal or even reached top 1000, or the hundreds of people who asked me for advice on how I lost 100 pounds in just 2 years. I can name only one person who actually used my advice and lost the weight and who is in the happiest state of his life. You are heavily underestimating your own capabilities, and you are greatly overestimating the capabilities of the competition around you. Chances are the players you are competing against do not care as much as you, are willing to work as hard as you, and better yet, won't ever put in the amount of time and dedication as you do. In 2025, it has never been easier to get ahead of others and to reach your goals in whatever you pursue. The real secret that separates the top 1% from the rest is all about being brutally aware of your downfalls and weaknesses as a player, and putting in more effort and time honing those skills down compared to everyone else. By doing this, you'll be able to surpass every single person around you and achieve the gold rank that you set for yourself at the start of this year. If you want to make this whole journey easier, join the 1% Club, which is linked down in the description, where I will help you reach Immortal as fast as possible and where the average player ranks up over 350 RR in just 6 to 8 weeks. Thanks for watching, and remember, you only fail when you stop trying. I'll see you soon. Mwah.